What's up, everybody? Thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is just going to be a little recap of NFT Nashville, which finished up on November 4th, about a week ago. And also wanted to shout out some people who made it happen and made it a lot of fun. For people that were there, you definitely know what I mean. Nashville is a really fun city. There was also something really cool to see go down, and that was a business deal made in person at this event between Juno and co-founder of a DeFi app. I'll get into that and the details later in the video. But yeah, just wanted to quick recap NFT Nashville. It was a Cosmos-based conference. Cosmos projects were the main sponsors of the event. We definitely um, did take a broad view of NFTs when we put on this conference. The purpose was to highlight all things positive related to NFTs. NFTs are tokens, right? So they have some different capabilities compared to the fungible type. But yeah, we had some cool speakers. We had some sponsors come through and just make this happen. And just wanted to give you guys a quick recap. If you missed it, you missed a good one. Hopefully you come to the next one, which looks like it's going to be in July of next year, right around the Bitcoin conference. Here's the website, awesome logo, courtesy of Signal and Drew, and they did the website for us. Let's go through. Basically, this was meant to be grassroots funded. We were unable to get funding from the grants program. That's okay. Kind of taught us to focus on what was really important, and that was the people who actually engage in NFTs, the platform, the projects, and the actual collectors. So this was in Franklin, Tennessee, just outside Nashville. I mentioned before, if you've never been to Nashville, Nashville's a lot of fun. It's kind of like a Las Vegas, but everything happens during the day, or at least there's a lot going on during the day, as opposed to the nighttime with a place like Las Vegas. And here are whale sponsors. Whale sponsors are the sponsors that came in for the max. And just want to shout a few of them out. Stargaze. Stargaze was the first sponsor. They made it happen. Their commitment allowed us to put the deposit down on the venue. And Shane, founder of Stargaze, he came through. He's like, I've never been to Nashville. Sounds fun. Yep, it was fun. And his talk was great. He was talking about NFT perps. Like, what? NFT perps, getting exposure to NFTs without actually having to hold on to any. So that was a really cool talk. And I will geez, I'm not going to edit that out. I will link the streams down below for the morning and the afternoon session of the conference. But yeah, you could take a look at the sponsors here. Gelato, great builders in the Cosmos ecosystem. We have Bad Kids, by far the number one project. He basically did a talk about an Easter egg that he dropped in one of the collections that he says no one really found. So he just kind of gave it away in his talk. That was in the morning session. If you want to go look for that, I believe that was the last talk. So last 20 minutes of the morning session stream, you can catch that. If you're a BitKids holder, I think you'll want to check that out. Omniflix, they couldn't make it, but they did a remote talk. That was at the end of the afternoon session, last 20 minutes there. Game of Nodes, really great validators and content creators in the ecosystem. They run separate independent validators on lots of different chains, dozens of them, and they have a podcast called Game of Nodes. They're on YouTube. You should subscribe to them. They definitely support the NFT ecosystems. And then the last two whale sponsors here, Astrovault, which is a new kind of DEX. This is the project that made the deal with Juno that I mentioned earlier. I'll get into the details of that. And then Quantum Club. This is an NFT project that will launch in association with Astrovault. And you can see our other sponsors here. And if you want to go to the website, you could follow Gaines, myself, and IBC Gang. But yeah, you could take a look and gotta get me a drink here. Not editing this video. It's the third time I'm doing this. All right. Yeah, I drink a lot of seltzer, a lot. And yeah, some info about Nashville. Like I said, we're going to look to do this again. the way that we put this on, it was very manageable. There was 3 of us for the most part planning this part-time. And it scales. It definitely scales. Now that we kind of know how it goes, some of the work that we put in can be reused. For example, the website, the ticketing service, which was facilitated by Omniflix, and you know, the audio setup, the light setup, all that. We did learn a lot with this kind of event. A lot of things have to happen kind of last minute, which is really strange because the way our personalities are, myself, Tank, Gaines, we wanted to plan this out like 3 months ago. It can't happen that way. So people that people that bought tickets and showed up, they kind of got to see some of the last minute things to come together. And one of those things that I thought was really interesting was um, Tenderman Timmy, who just came as a guest, but he became the audio visual guy. He was connecting wires, carrying around laptops, plugging in USBs to different devices. He was like telling people where to stand on the stage, giving us the cues. So that could happen if you attend NFT Nashville. You might have a key role in the day if you show up at the wrong time. Let's get into the deal that went down between Juno, Reese, head dev for Juno, Prodigy dev. He started building blockchains when he was 7 years old, and now he's not only the lead dev at Juno, he works for Strangelove Labs. So Strange is it Labs? I think it's just Strangelove. Strangelove. So yeah, Reese is there. I thought Reese was just coming to hang out. Hey Reese, do you want a speaking slot? No, I just want to hang out. Yeah, right. Guy gets there, absolutely wastes no time talking to Astrovault. Hey, Juno needs a new Dex. Wind sucks. He didn't say that. I'm paraphrasing, but he's talking to Eric from Astrovault. Next thing I know, I see this tweet. This is like a couple days later. Let's bring in the tweet. It's always a tweet. Content creators are lazy. We have to use other people's tweets to fuel our YouTube content. So rest in peace, your win. Yeah, win needed to go. They were not committed builders. They were committed to um, cracking open community pools and making excuses, right? And I did a bunch of wind videos on my channel. I hosted a huge Twitter space with the wind team when they first announced they would be migrating liquidity from a previous somewhat failed DEX on Juno to their own. And my reaction was, thank God, because DeFi on Juno was just faltering. Community was constantly voting to fund the wrong projects. Juno just got absolutely abused by any, founders, validators, app builders, and NFT projects. Just absolutely had their way with that chain. Anyone that could stole from the chain, extracted from the chain, giving almost no value in return. All these people that had loud voices in governance. I mean, they steered the community in the wrong direction multiple times. I'm not just talking about Prop 16. But yeah, if you're watching this video, you have no idea what Juno is. It's a permissionless DeFi platform, smart contract platform that's interoperable with Cosmos. When it first launched, it was like, wow, this is going to be the platform where everyone launches their app because Cosmos itself doesn't have smart contracts. Well, long story short, the price went from $40 to like 14 cents. And on the way down, there was just people were extracting hand over fist. DeFi was devastated on the chain. NFTs are almost non-existent. So let's get to the wind part. Wind was like the third or fourth iteration of a DEX. They promised to build out all these other DeFi primitives. I have it on video. I'll link it down below. And they just weren't committed. It's just how it is. They were not committed. They're not held accountable. They actually went on sabbatical. Um, they went on sabbatical after asking a couple of chains for free funding, even chains they weren't really building applications on per se, and they needed to go. They were just simply not they weren't building useful stuff. They had this token that was inflated to absolute garbage. It was paired with everything on the decks. Prices were volatile, swaps are terrible. They had lockup periods for staking of like 700 days, which was ridiculous. And lo and behold, Reese, Astrovault, they get together, and we're going to talk about Astrovault for a second. So, Astrovault, what is it? Well, they are a DEX on Archway, which is a fairly new blockchain. What's interesting about Astrovault, and just hope you're sitting down for this, Astrovault's a DEX that doesn't have a token and makes money. Okay. So it's a DEX. They do swaps. They have liquidity in pools. It's an AMM. And they don't have a token. Why? Because you really don't need a token, at least to launch a DEX. A DEX is there to facilitate swaps. Usually, when projects launch a token, it's pretty much to pay themselves or to incentivize liquidity providers with these insane temporary rewards. Guys, I'm losing my voice. This is terrible. So Astrovault's like, yeah, we'd love to build your DEX. We already built one on Archway. It works. The concept works. We make money and we earn liquidity. We have total value locked there of whatever, and it earns a certain percent day by day. That percent allows us to own our own liquidity so that eventually, even if we lose some liquidity providers, we still have liquidity on the DEX. All right. And like I said, no token, at least no token so far. So spoke with Astrovault briefly. They said they want to be Juno's native DEX. They want support. Juno has a history of supporting just projects that just never do anything. They never return value back to the chain. And that's probably, if you could say there was one problem that Juno had, just complete wrong people steering governance and money out of the pools to projects that did nothing. So they want to be a multi-chain DEX. They will be launching on 4 or 5 chains. It'll be from a single UI using interoperable tech in Cosmos. And probably after a couple of kinks are worked out, it's going to be a nice way to just swap tokens, provide liquidity, take advantage of IBC interoperability. So, exact message from co-founder Eric Wiseman of Astrovault. We want to be their native DEX. If they show us the most support, we'll focus most of our time on there. So you could take them at their word. They built something that works on Archway. So it's a really cool DEX. I really like the way they use derivatives. But yeah, big deal that went down at NFT Nashville. So I just want to point out again, before I wrap this up, like way past the time that I expected to go on this video. If you're watching this, you missed an awesome event, but that's okay. You could watch the stream down below, watch bits and pieces of it, just get an idea of what you missed out on. Number 2, you missed out on a major deal. If Juno ever returns to prosperity, and it's because of a DeFi renaissance on the chain, you could point to the event that me, Tank, and Gaines put together that sparked the whole thing. We got Reese and Eric in the same room. Just let them do their thing. And then maybe one day this will lead to, I don't know, this might become a $1 billion deal. And I just want to say NFT Nashville will be partially, maybe mostly responsible for this. So thank you guys if you watched the video up until now. Keep following the NFT Nashville Twitter. It's NFTs Nashville on Twitter. We're going to start making some moves on the next conference, most likely in the coming weeks, including getting sponsorships. If you are part of a project that would like to sponsor, just reach out to us. If you're a community member and you want to pressure your project to sponsor, reach out to us. We have a very good, very good negotiating skills to get sponsors, because we had a lot of them, as you saw. So have a good one. Enjoy the rest of the week. Hope you like this video, and like, share, subscribe. Helps me out. I always forget to shill the goddamn channel in the beginning. All right. That's it.